he didn't want to marry. And a month later, he was gone. A shocking story. Part 1. The Strange Bride. I will never forget how it all began. My brother, who had always been against marriage, suddenly came home and announced that he wanted to get married. Our parents were thrilled. He was already 27, had a job, a place to live. Everyone had been waiting for this moment, but I noticed something immediately. He didn't look happy. There was no joy in his eyes. He was too calm. And when I saw his fiancée, I was shocked. His past girlfriends had always been tall and slender, but this one, she was of average height and looked older than her age. Completely not his type. Everyone was busy preparing for the wedding. My brother, however, seemed detached from it all. He didn't even want to choose a suit. Meanwhile, the bride was glowing with excitement, running from store to store, trying on dresses. The wedding was approaching. Our parents spared no expense to 100 guests, the best restaurant. But on the morning of the wedding, my brother disappeared. The bride was crying. My parents were in shock. His phone was off. My father called all his friends. Eventually, he found him. And I will never forget their conversation. I'm not getting married, my brother said firmly. Let her go. My father was silent for a moment. Then he said something that changed everything. She's 4 months pregnant. You have to marry her. My brother didn't say a word. Then he simply hung up the phone. The wedding happened, but he didn't smile. Not even once. Immediately after the wedding, my brother moved to another city with his wife. None of us expected that less than a month later, he would die. And then I remembered something. Since childhood, my brother had the same recurring nightmare. He was running in his dream. And behind him were all our relatives and friends, chasing him, trying to force him to marry. I remember him telling me once, even you were there, shouting, catch him. And next to you was a bride in a wedding dress. You all left me no choice. And I thought, what if he hadn't been forced into marriage? Would that accident have never happened? Would he still be alive today? He was depressed. Everyone had abandoned him. The car crash happened too fast. We didn't even have time to understand what was going on.